Stop scrolling for a second, because what I'm about to tell you will completely change the way you see attraction, relationships, and human connection. Most people have been lying to you without even realizing it. They want you to believe that attraction is all about looks, money, or charm. They tell you that confidence is enough, that flashy gestures win hearts, that young energy can compete with experience. But the truth is far deeper. It's invisible, subtle, and almost no one talks about it. Younger women don't just look for charm, looks, or excitement. What they truly crave is something most men have no idea how to give: a sense of safety, a presence that tells them, without words, that they can trust you, that they can lean on you, and that you will remain steady no matter what life throws at you. And here's the part that will shock you. They test for it instinctively. They push boundaries, they observe, they watch for seconds that reveal everything. And older men who understand this, who know how to carry themselves, who have mastered their emotions, become magnetic in ways that younger men could never replicate, no matter how flashy or strong they try to be. By the end of this video, you will understand the invisible rules of attraction that no one tells you. You will discover the subtle habits, mindsets, and energies that make younger women feel safe, drawn, and deeply connected. You will realize why presence, emotional mastery, and calm authority are more powerful than money, charm, or status ever could be. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you carry yourself, the way women see you, and the way relationships are built forever. This isn't something you've heard before. This is the truth most people ignore, and once you understand it, nothing will ever be the same. When we talk about attraction, most people immediately think about looks, charm, or even status. They believe that if a man has the right car, the right clothes, the perfect smile, that's enough to make someone feel drawn to him. But here's the truth that very few will openly admit. Attraction is never just about the surface. It's never just about what you show the world. What actually holds immense power is something far more subtle, far deeper, and something that most people completely overlook: a sense of safety. And when I say safety, I don't just mean physical safety. Yes, feeling secure in your environment matters, but what younger women respond to, and what makes them feel truly connected to an older man, is emotional safety. It's that invisible force, that quiet presence, that tells them they can be themselves around you without fear of judgment, rejection, or chaos. Younger women have grown up in a world that's unpredictable, noisy, and full of constant challenges. They have seen inconsistency, selfishness, and instability, and because of that, they don't just look for someone who can entertain them or impress them. They look for someone who can anchor them. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you saw a woman truly relax and let her guard down in the presence of someone who didn't offer her that stability? It doesn't happen often, and it doesn't happen by accident. This is why younger women instinctively feel safer around older men who have learned how to regulate themselves, who have learned how to remain calm when everything around them is spinning out of control. It's not about trying to be strong or dominating. It's about being composed, being consistent, being a presence that doesn't crumble when pressure hits. Most younger men are unaware of this. They rush, they overcompensate, they try to win attention with jokes, flashy gestures, or forced confidence. And what happens? Women can feel it. They sense the insecurity hidden beneath the surface, even if it's just a flicker. But older men who have lived through trials, who have faced real challenges and learned how to navigate them without losing their center, they carry a different energy entirely. That energy whispers safety without a word. It communicates that no matter what happens, you will remain steady, you will remain reliable, and in that, a younger woman feels free to open up, to explore, to be vulnerable without fear. This sense of safety is not something you can fake. You cannot mimic it with material possessions, superficial charm, or rehearsed lines. It is a product of life experience, self-awareness, and a deep understanding of human nature. It comes from knowing yourself so thoroughly that you no longer need validation from the outside world to feel whole. It comes from observing chaos and pain, yet choosing calm over panic. It comes from mastering your own emotions, understanding the ebb and flow of tension, and responding rather than reacting. That is magnetic. That is irresistible. That is what younger women notice almost instantly, even before they consciously acknowledge it. And here's the fascinating part. This safety is not passive. It doesn't mean you avoid conflict or difficulties. On the contrary, it means you approach challenges with clarity and courage. It means that when problems arise, you confront them with logic and composure, not desperation or fear. Younger women, whether they realize it or not, are constantly assessing the world around them. They are testing the men in their lives, not in a manipulative way, but instinctively, to see who can hold themselves together when life gets messy. An older man who can do this doesn't need to prove his worth through words or gestures. His presence alone says more than any conversation ever could. He communicates stability, resilience, and trustworthiness, all of which create the safety a younger woman seeks. It's also important to understand why this safety is so attractive on a psychological level. Humans are wired to respond to consistency and predictability in a partner, especially when we are vulnerable. Younger women are often navigating new experiences, emotions, and pressures. They crave a foundation, a stable energy they can lean on when their own emotions feel like a storm. An older man who has mastered his presence provides exactly that foundation. He becomes a safe harbor in a world full of uncertainty. And when someone provides that, the connection that forms is not superficial. It is deep, instinctual, and lasting. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about control or power over someone. It's not about making someone dependent or fearful of losing you. True safety is liberating. It empowers a younger woman to grow, to express herself fully, and to experience life with confidence because she knows she has someone steady by her side. And here's the thing, the more you cultivate this energy, the more naturally it attracts not just women, but respect and admiration from everyone around you. People gravitate toward calm, composed, and emotionally intelligent individuals because they signal security, competence, and wisdom. So how do you create this sense of safety? It starts with self-mastery. You must understand your emotions, your triggers, and your reactions. You must practice patience in situations where impulsivity would be easy. You must learn to listen, not just hear words, but truly understand intentions, feelings, and subtle cues. And you must respond with awareness rather than instinctual reaction. When you can do this consistently, you embody the kind of presence that radiates safety without a single word being spoken. And here's the part most people miss. Safety is magnetic because it is rare. In a world where chaos, instability, and uncertainty are everywhere, someone who offers calm and reliability stands out immediately. Women notice it on a subconscious level before they even acknowledge it consciously. They are drawn to it instinctively because it is deeply connected to their survival and their comfort. And this, my friends, is the hidden power older men hold over younger women, not through superficial attraction, but through the profound, often invisible, energy of safety. At the end of the day, it all comes down to presence. You cannot buy it, you cannot force it, and you cannot fake it. It is earned, cultivated, and lived when you can stand in your own calm, in your own strength, in your own wisdom. Younger women feel it, sense it, and respond to it in ways that will surprise you. And once they feel it, once they know they are safe, they open themselves to connection, trust, and even love in a way that is genuine and unshakable. So here's what I want you to take away. Stop trying to impress. Stop thinking attraction is about what you show on the outside. Focus instead on mastering yourself, on developing emotional intelligence, on becoming the calm in the storm, When you do this, you become magnetic in a way that no superficial strategy can ever achieve. You create a force of safety that draws people in, commands respect, and leaves a lasting impression. Remember this: the true power of attraction is not in flashy gestures, not in money or looks, but in the quiet, steady, unshakable presence that tells another human being, "You are safe with me." And when you can embody that, you will not only change the way women perceive you, you will change the way the world interacts with you. Safety is rare. Presence is rare. Wisdom is rare. Cultivate it, master it, and the impact you will have is unstoppable. When we talk about attraction, many people focus on the obvious things: looks, charm, status, money. But the deeper truth, the truth that most people miss entirely, is that the most magnetic trait a man can have is his emotional intelligence. And when I say emotional intelligence, I'm not just talking about being nice or polite. I'm talking about a profound, almost invisible ability to read the world, understand people, and respond in ways that create connection, trust, and yes, safety. Younger women are drawn to this in a way that is both instinctive and subconscious. They may not name it, they may not explain it, but they feel it instantly. Emotional intelligence in a man creates a sense of calm in their world. It creates a sense of being understood without needing to say a word. And when a younger woman feels understood, when she feels genuinely seen and acknowledged, something remarkable happens. She relaxes. She opens herself to trust. She begins to explore a connection that goes far beyond superficial attraction. Let me be clear, this isn't about manipulation. This isn't about learning tricks or techniques. This is about cultivating a way of being that is magnetic because it is authentic. Emotional intelligence is about knowing yourself so well that you can recognize the emotions of others without judgment, without overreaction, and without defensiveness. It's about creating an energy that communicates without words. I understand. I see you. You are safe with me. And the impact of this on younger women is immediate and profound. Think about how many interactions you've witnessed in life where someone tries too hard to impress. They talk over others. They dominate the conversation. They make everything about themselves. And yet, despite all this effort, the connection feels flat. That's because emotional intelligence isn't about doing or saying. It's about being. It's about presence, awareness, and empathy. And older men who embody this naturally become magnetic without even trying. Their energy signals stability, maturity, and understanding. And younger women, consciously or unconsciously, are drawn to it. Here's the deeper layer that most people never consider. Emotional intelligence allows a man to handle tests, challenges, and uncertainty without losing composure. Younger women are constantly evaluating the men around them, often unconsciously, to see who can withstand life's pressures without panicking, without overreacting. It's not a conscious judgment, it's an instinctual filter. A man with emotional intelligence responds thoughtfully, calmly, and deliberately. He doesn't chase, he doesn't argue unnecessarily, and he doesn't react with insecurity. And this, almost like magic, builds trust. It shows the woman that he is capable of being a consistent, reliable presence in her life, which is a quality far more attractive than any superficial charm. Emotional intelligence is also about listening, truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak, not just nodding politely, but actively absorbing what the other person is saying, picking up on subtle cues, and responding in a way that makes them feel heard. Younger women can sense when a man listens with attention versus when he listens with a motive. The former builds connection, the latter builds distance. When a man listens with presence and intention, he communicates value without needing to state it. That silent signal is far more powerful than words, and it creates an invisible pull that draws people toward him naturally. Another element of emotional intelligence that cannot be overstated is emotional regulation. Younger women are drawn to men who are composed in the face of stress, who do not let their emotions control their actions. When challenges arise, a man with emotional intelligence remains calm, thoughtful, and solution-oriented. He doesn't react impulsively, he doesn't lash out, and he doesn't crumble under pressure. That steadiness is profoundly attractive because it signals safety and reliability. It tells a younger woman that this man can navigate life's turbulence without dragging her into chaos. And that, more than anything else, is magnetic. Here's something most people completely miss: emotional intelligence creates a type of invisible confidence that cannot be faked. It is the difference between arrogance and quiet authority. Younger women feel it almost immediately. A man who understands emotions, who can read the room, who can respond without ego, communicates strength in a way that is far more compelling than a boast, a display, or a superficial gesture. That strength is not about dominance, it's about mastery, presence, and awareness. And it is precisely this mastery that younger women are instinctively drawn to because it signals competence, stability, and depth. Emotional intelligence also allows a man to navigate vulnerability with grace. Many men fear showing emotion, fearing that it will be seen as weakness. But the truth is, the ability to be vulnerable thoughtfully, to express emotion without losing control, is incredibly powerful. It creates authenticity. It creates connection. It shows that a man is secure enough to embrace the full spectrum of human experience without becoming erratic or overbearing. Younger women sense this authenticity and respond to it on a deeply instinctual level. It is magnetic because it is rare. It is magnetic because it is real. Let's not forget the long-term implications. Emotional intelligence is not just attractive in fleeting moments. It is sustainable. Looks fade, charm can lose its luster, money can be spent, but emotional intelligence endures. It is the foundation of trust, respect, and deep emotional connection. Younger women are drawn to men who can consistently offer this presence because it signals reliability, predictability, and long-term safety. And this is where true attraction lies, not in superficial displays, but in the quiet, consistent, intelligent way a man navigates life and relationships. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, I don't have emotional intelligence, understand this: it can be developed. It starts with self-awareness, knowing your triggers, your patterns, your emotional responses. Then it moves to observation, learning to notice the emotions and needs of others without judgment. And finally, it requires practice, responding thoughtfully, not impulsively, even in high-pressure situations. Every step you take toward developing emotional intelligence increases your magnetic presence, increases your ability to attract younger women who are seeking depth, security, and understanding. So what I want you to take away is this: emotional intelligence is not optional. If you want to be truly magnetic, it is the hidden force behind attraction that cannot be bought, cannot be faked, and cannot be overlooked. It is the key to creating a sense of connection, safety, and trust that younger women feel instantly. And it is the foundation for relationships that go beyond surface level interactions into deep, meaningful connection. Remember this: your ability to read, understand, and respond to emotions with awareness is more powerful than any flashy gesture, any superficial charm, or any material display. Emotional intelligence is the quiet magnetism that draws people in naturally, effortlessly, and sustainably. It is the trait that makes a man unforgettable, compelling, and irresistible in ways most people never even realize exist. When you cultivate this power, when you master the subtle art of emotional awareness, you don't need to chase, prove, or compete. Your presence alone will communicate strength, stability, and depth. Younger women will feel it, people will sense it, and your life will change in ways that no superficial strategy ever could. So start today, observe, reflect, listen, respond, and master your own emotional world. Develop the intelligence that speaks without words, connects without effort, and attracts without force. Because emotional intelligence is not just a skill, It is the invisible foundation of magnetic, lasting attraction. And once you embody it, you will see the difference not just in relationships, but in every interaction you have in life. The real power of attraction lies in understanding the human mind, mastering your own emotions, and using your presence to create connection and safety. When you do this, you don't just attract attention, you earn respect, trust, and authentic connection. And that, more than anything else, is the key to becoming truly magnetic. When we talk about attraction, there is a common misconception that it is about effort, about chasing, proving, performing, or displaying. The truth, the shocking truth that few people ever acknowledge, is that real attraction doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from how you carry yourself. Presence, composure, and authenticity create a power far greater than any effort, any show, or any display of wealth or status. And this is the trait that younger women instinctively recognize and respond to in older men. Presence is subtle, it's quiet, almost invisible, but its effect is undeniable. It's the difference between a man who has to convince and a man who naturally draws. It's the energy that fills a room without a word, the confidence that doesn't need to be shouted, and the calm that does not need to be forced. Younger women, consciously or unconsciously, can feel this immediately. They sense when someone's energy is aligned, steady, and authentic. And when they sense it, they are drawn in because it communicates something deeper than words ever could. It communicates reliability, safety, and strength. Think about the difference between a man who constantly tries to impress and a man who simply exists with confidence. The first man is often exhausting to be around. He demands attention, seeks validation, and leaves women questioning his stability. The second man, the one with presence, doesn't need to perform. He doesn't chase. He doesn't prove himself. He is steady, calm, and fully anchored in who he is. And that, more than anything else, is magnetic. Younger women instinctively notice this distinction, and it changes the dynamics of attraction completely. Presence is not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes or always knowing what to say. It's about being grounded in yourself, regardless of external circumstances. It's about understanding that your value does not fluctuate with opinions, reactions, or external validation. This grounded energy is incredibly compelling because it signals that you are secure, capable, and resilient. And when a younger woman senses this energy, she feels an immediate pull toward it. She is drawn not just to who you are, but to the stability and calm you bring into her world. Let's talk about why presence is more powerful than effort. Effort is conditional. It depends on outcomes, on reactions, and on performance. Presence is unconditional. It exists regardless of circumstances, regardless of recognition, regardless of external approval. Effort can be exhausting and inconsistent, but presence is consistent. It communicates reliability. It communicates trustworthiness. It communicates that, no matter what happens, you will remain anchored. And this, more than any charm, money, or gesture, is what younger women are looking for, whether they realize it or not. Younger women, like all humans, are constantly evaluating their environment and the people in it. They instinctively seek out anchors, people who remain steady when everything around them is uncertain. Presence provides exactly that. It's the invisible signal that tells them, I can handle this, I am stable, you are safe with me. And here's the part most people miss. This presence doesn't need to be explained or justified. It doesn't need to be performed. It is a natural byproduct of self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and life experience. When you cultivate these traits, presence emerges naturally, and the effect it has on attraction is profound. Another critical aspect of presence is the ability to remain calm under pressure. Life is unpredictable. Challenges arise. Conflicts emerge. And in those moments, the difference between trying too hard and embodying presence becomes starkly obvious. A man who panics, argues unnecessarily, or reacts impulsively signals instability. A man who remains calm, thoughtful, and deliberate communicates competence and emotional mastery. Younger women pick up on this instantly, often before they are even conscious of it. They are drawn to the energy of a man who can handle life without being overwhelmed, and they naturally gravitate toward that energy. Presence also communicates confidence without arrogance. There is a subtle, almost invisible distinction between arrogance and quiet authority, and younger women notice it immediately. Arrogance demands attention, presence commands it. Arrogance seeks validation. Presence radiates self-assuredness. Arrogance is loud, effortful, and often exhausting. Presence is quiet, effortless, and magnetic. When a man embodies presence, he doesn't need to convince anyone of his value. It is evident in the way he moves, speaks, and interacts with the world. That is the energy that younger women are instinctively drawn to, because it signals depth, stability, and reliability. Presence is also about restraint. It is the ability to choose when to speak, when to act, and when to react. It is about understanding that sometimes saying nothing communicates more than words ever could. It is about patience, observation, and awareness. And this restraint, when combined with emotional intelligence, creates an energy that is profoundly attractive. Younger women sense it as composure, wisdom, and subtle authority, and they respond to it in ways that are almost instinctual. Let's not overlook the philosophical depth of presence. At its core, presence is about being fully aligned with yourself and your values. It is about knowing who you are, what you stand for, and how you navigate the world, and then living consistently from that place. It is about authenticity, not performance. And authenticity, when combined with calm, grounded energy, is magnetic. Younger women, consciously or unconsciously, are drawn to authenticity because it signals trustworthiness, stability, and integrity, qualities that create lasting attraction. Presence also allows you to operate without neediness or desperation. When you are anchored in your own energy, you do not seek validation, approval, or attention. You are not chasing or proving yourself. Instead, you create space for the other person to engage with you on their own terms. This absence of neediness is incredibly attractive because it signals strength, independence, and self-respect. Younger women respond to this energy instinctively because it reassures them that they are not entering into a relationship with chaos, insecurity, or instability. Another critical aspect is the ripple effect of presence. When you embody grounded energy, it influences everyone around you. People mirror your composure, your confidence, and your calm. Younger women pick up on this immediately, often before they consciously recognize it. Presence creates an invisible gravitational pull. It shapes interactions, builds trust, and creates space for connection. And unlike effort, which can be fleeting and conditional, presence endures. It is sustainable, consistent, and powerful in ways that effort and performance never can be. So, what is the actionable insight here? Stop trying to impress. Stop focusing on performance, on gestures, on constant effort. Start focusing on being. Cultivate presence through self-awareness, emotional mastery, and life experience. Learn to operate with calmness, patience, and quiet confidence. Listen more than you speak. Observe before reacting. Stand firm in your values without needing validation. When you do this consistently, you will notice the difference immediately. People, especially younger women, will respond to your energy before they respond to your words. Presence is invisible, yet it is magnetic. It is quiet, yet it commands attention. It does not need to be performed, yet it communicates more than words ever could. And it is sustainable, consistent, and deeply attractive. Younger women recognize it instinctively, and they respond to it on levels that are profound, instinctual, and lasting. Remember, this attraction is not about chasing. It is not about proving yourself or displaying superficial qualities. Attraction comes from how you exist in the world. Presence, composure, and authenticity are invisible forces that create connection, trust, and magnetic energy. When you embody presence, you don't just attract attention, You create respect, trust, and deep emotional resonance. And that, more than any performance or display, is what draws younger women in and keeps them invested. The true power of attraction lies not in effort, but in presence. Cultivate it, master it, live it, and watch as the world and the people around you respond in ways you never imagined possible. When we reach the final layer of understanding attraction, we move into something even more profound: mastery of presence and self. It's one thing to provide safety, another to demonstrate emotional intelligence, and yet another to carry yourself with presence. But true, magnetic, undeniable attraction comes when you combine all of these qualities with an internal mastery that is visible in every action, every word, and every pause. This is where older men hold an advantage that younger men rarely understand, and it's also where younger women feel a connection they can't articulate, yet instinctively trust. Mastering your inner world begins with awareness. Most men live their lives reacting, responding to situations as they arise without truly understanding why. They allow their ego, their insecurities, or their past experiences to dictate their behavior. This creates inconsistency, unpredictability, and energy that younger women immediately sense as unsafe. But when a man has mastered his inner world, when he understands his triggers, his emotions, and his values, something remarkable happens. His energy becomes consistent, calm, and magnetic. Younger women, consciously or unconsciously, are drawn to this because it signals reliability and strength. They sense that no matter what life throws at him, he can remain steady, present, and grounded. This mastery is not about suppressing emotion or pretending to be perfect. On the contrary, it's about fully understanding yourself, embracing your vulnerabilities, and responding to challenges with awareness rather than reaction. Younger women can sense this deeply. They recognize when a man is in control of himself, not controlling them, not manipulating situations, but in control of his own emotional landscape. That ability to navigate life without losing composure communicates a quiet, irresistible power. It shows that he is capable, dependable, and, most importantly, someone they can trust to anchor them in the inevitable storms of life. A critical part of this mastery is consistency. Humans are wired to trust patterns, to rely on stability, and to feel secure when energy is predictable in its reliability. Younger women, in particular, are acutely sensitive to fluctuations in energy. They test it, probe it, and respond to it instinctively. An older man who has mastered himself does not falter when tested. His energy remains steady, his reactions measured, and his presence reassuring. This is the kind of deep-seated reliability that creates trust and fosters connection far more powerfully than any display of charm, humor, or status. Mastery also means patience. Many people want immediate results, instant validation, and rapid responses. But younger women are drawn to men who understand the value of timing, the rhythm of human interaction, and the importance of letting relationships unfold naturally. Patience communicates control, composure, and wisdom. It shows that a man is secure enough to let life progress at its own pace rather than forcing outcomes. When a man embodies this patience, he creates an energy that is magnetic, calming, and profoundly attractive. Women sense it and are drawn to it without knowing exactly why. Another dimension of this mastery is the ability to remain emotionally unaffected by external chaos. Life is unpredictable, people are unreliable, circumstances change. And yet, an older man who has mastered himself remains anchored. He does not let temporary setbacks, challenges, or external drama dictate his inner state. This creates an energy that younger women instinctively recognize as stability. It is not arrogance or detachment, it is calm authority. It signals that no matter what happens, he can navigate it thoughtfully and with control. And that energy, more than anything else, is magnetic. Mastery also includes the ability to create boundaries. Many men fail to understand the power of healthy boundaries. They allow others' chaos, demands, or negativity to dictate their behavior. But a man who has mastered himself knows where to draw the line, what is acceptable and what is not. This clarity communicates strength and self-respect. Younger women sense this and respond to it instinctively because boundaries create safety. Boundaries tell a woman that this man can be trusted to respect both himself and her, to maintain his integrity, and to navigate life without losing himself in external pressures. This mastery, when combined with emotional intelligence and presence, creates a unique magnetic energy. It is invisible yet palpable. Younger women, like all humans, are highly attuned to energy. They can sense stability versus instability, calm versus chaos, awareness versus distraction. When a man embodies mastery, his energy communicates trust, safety, and attraction simultaneously. And the most remarkable thing about this energy is that it is not performative. It does not need to be argued, justified, or displayed. It simply exists, and that existence alone draws people in, creating connections that are deep, meaningful, and long-lasting. Philosophically, mastery is about alignment. Aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your values and your vision for life. It is about living authentically rather than performing for validation. When a man aligns himself in this way, younger women sense that he is whole, complete, and capable. This is incredibly attractive because it communicates stability, strength, and self-respect. It is a rare quality in a world where inconsistency and superficiality are common, and that rarity creates an irresistible pull. Mastery also requires reflection and learning. Older men who have lived through experiences, failures, and successes have often developed a deep understanding of human nature. They know how people behave under pressure, how emotions fluctuate, and how to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This wisdom is magnetic. Younger women sense it even before they can articulate it. It creates a silent confidence, a reassurance that they are in the presence of someone who can handle life with competence, dignity, and grace. Another critical element is the ability to create space. Mastery does not mean being controlling or overbearing. It means giving others the freedom to exist fully while maintaining your own centeredness. Younger women respond positively to men who can create this balance, who offer guidance without domination, who provide support without suffocating, and who can connect without attachment or neediness. This energy communicates security, respect, and strength, and it is deeply attractive. Ultimately, mastery is the culmination of all the traits we have discussed: safety, emotional intelligence, presence, and consistency. It is the invisible thread that ties everything together, creating an energy that is magnetic, reliable, and compelling. Younger women respond instinctively to this energy because it communicates everything they seek: trust, stability, understanding, and depth. And unlike superficial traits, mastery is enduring. It grows over time, it strengthens through experience, and it becomes more powerful as you continue to live intentionally and authentically. So what is the actionable insight here? Focus on mastering yourself. Observe your emotions, understand your triggers, and cultivate awareness in every interaction. Develop patience, boundaries, and emotional resilience. Align your actions with your values and let your energy communicate who you are without the need for performance. When you do this consistently, younger women and people in general will feel drawn to you instinctively. You will create connections that are deep, meaningful, and sustainable because your energy communicates stability, intelligence, and authenticity without a word. Remember, this mastery is not about perfection. It is not about control over others. It is about control over yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your presence. When you achieve this, you do not chase, you do not perform, and you do not prove yourself. Your energy, your groundedness, your mastery communicates everything naturally. And that is magnetic. That is irresistible. That is the hidden power that older men have when they have cultivated true self-mastery. The final truth is simple yet profound: mastery of the self creates an invisible force that draws people in, builds trust, and fosters lasting attraction. safety, emotional intelligence, and presence are all enhanced by mastery. And once you embody it, younger women feel it immediately, instinctively, and deeply. Live intentionally, master yourself, create your presence, cultivate your energy, and watch as the world and the people around you respond in ways that are profound, natural, and undeniable.